My name is Andre, and I'm very happy to be here. The second time that I'm at the Dynamic Walking in Germany. So the last Dynamic Walking conference in Germany was, I think, 2011, close to Vienna, and we had a pleasure together with Katja to organize this meeting. So I'm very pleased that you all came over to Germany again, and I very much enjoyed the presentations this morning. I just arrived yesterday evening because we had running another meeting the last 3 days, so it has been a busy week. Yeah, so I would like to engage you all to stand up at the beginning. And you close your eyes.
Can't hear.
Sorry?
We were talking.
No. Okay, very good. And close your eyes. And as we don't have place, you cannot move, but think about you would start moving. And reflect, as you have done it before, I'm pretty sure. How did you actually start to move? What do you do to initiate the first step?
Fall.
Lean forward.
You have to wait till the stance leg.
Yeah.
Yeah, lean forward.
Fall.
Other ideas?
This is our work.
Yes, move sideways. To which side do you move?
Stance leg.
To the stance leg. Other suggestions?
Lift up my leg.
Lift up the leg.
You really want to know?
Sorry?
You really want to know what we think?
Of course. Yeah, so now you can open the eyes again, and I will just show some experimental results. The results are published, you can also read them in the paper. But the idea is just to reflect on what we're doing, to understand that the body actually is a tool to investigate, but we can only use the tool of the body if we put awareness on the body and on the movement and the sensation in the body. And usually, as a scientist, we're not used to do that. But if you would work, for instance, as a ballet dancer, you are very good at this. If you are an athlete, you are very good at this. So basically, there is a skill in our body which gives access to information which we are not using much. And I will just give you the example, which is very trivial to us to make the first step, because we do that very often every day, and to show you that everything we think is wrong. And this is not because we are not smart enough, it's just because we do not put attention on that. And with this, we do research by investigating movement or locomotion, by looking at it, and not by exploring it ourselves. As other people who are experts in movement have to do it very crucially for their business. So, and the story was like, I got the feedback from you, well, you lean forward, or you lift the leg, or you move to the leg, where you have the stand leg, and then you put the leg forward, the other leg forward. Yes, and Andy's saying, no, that's all wrong. Yes, what you do is you put the weight on the leg, which is then becoming the first step in leg forward. So you do basically a counter movement. Yeah, you're moving to the leg, and then you move this leg, which is loaded first forward. I show you the data. You can all read the data very easily. So look at the curve, at the bluish curve, and on the magenta curve, and you see the leg, which is leaving the ground, is loaded, and the other leg is first unloaded. And the second surprising thing from the analysis, this data from Wu Ping, Zhao, a postdoc in the group, is that the leg which has not left the ground, even before leaving, is exhibiting the well-known M-shaped force pattern. So you don't even have to step down to create an M-shaped force pattern. So the pattern is already existing by this initiation. I could go now to biomechanics and interpret what it means. I stop here. This is just an example how important it is to learn from the body and how the body is organizing movements, and the data then can help us to understand this. This is a session about local assist, and some of you have already asked, what is local assist? Local assist is a project, a graduate school we started last year, and it goes for 2 times 4.5 years, so after 3 years there's an evaluation, and if the evaluation is positive, then it runs for 9 years. Some people have been also at the local assist symposium, like in April, a couple of weeks ago. So for them, maybe something is a repetition, but It's a very nice project with people from very diverse disciplines. So we are leading the project. We are in human sciences, biomechanics, sports science, but there are people from psychology, cognitive science, computer science, engineering, material sciences. There are even people from economics, orthopedic clinics, and also there's an Institute of Mental Health, a group investigating, for instance, phantom pain of patients wearing prostheses. And the overall structure of the project is that we have divided the project into 4 subcategories. One is about the mechatronics. This is mostly also the level we are focusing here in this meeting, is how the movement is organized and structured in the design of systems. There is a modeling part, which is also a focus here in our presentations. And then there are the clinical questions of assisted scenarios and evaluation, assessment of the movement, and very important, user experience, body representations, and also user innovation, so what people can do based on their experience to stimulate research processes, but also the development of systems. In total, we have 13 professors and 3 postdocs being PIs in the different sub-projects, and we have 13 PhD positions running in parallel. Within this local assist program, we also are in the very happy situation that we can organize annual meetings, which we call Movement Academy, and also some people have asked me whether I could refer to that. The Movement Academy actually just was finished yesterday, and we finished it a bit earlier in order to be able to come here on time yesterday evening. And the first Movement Academy was actually taking place even before COVID. 2019 was on Parkinson Gate. Last year we had a meeting on motor control and assistance, and this year, just the last 3 days, were on learning from the body and learning with the body. So again, this is a topic of bridging the knowledge from expertise in the fields, professionals, patients, people with special motor skills or experiences, and the expertises from different disciplines in academia. We also include students and also PhD students to join the program, and with this we have the people who just start research or might enter research to be already connected with the experts in the field. At a very early stage, imagine you are a bachelor student in the 2nd semester and you meet one of the world's best juggling people or dancers who have been very successful in ballet or other areas. So this is a unique opportunity also for young people to create networks and to work with the people who really know how to do the movement. And how these meetings are structured, so we have tandem presentations, so we're not inviting one person to say what he's doing, but we're inviting 2 people and a moderator, and they are reflecting on what the other person is doing. What does it mean for me? What can I use? What do I not understand? Maybe the wording is not right, or maybe I cannot use it. It sounds interesting, but there is no value for me yet. And then the people sitting in the classroom writing down what they could do to provide, to bridge, to transfer, to understand better what the different people are doing and how this could be made accessible. In the second day, and this was very new this year, and a suggestion from the participants last year, we took one day just on movement activities. So basically you're not sitting here like here, you're sitting in different rooms, and then you learn to juggle, or you learn to dance, or you learn to work as a practitioner in Feldenkrais, for instance, which is a learning concept for motor control, or you work like Heike Valerie was organizing a workshop with a robot ball, and then you were asked to program the behavior of the robot, and in the second part you did experiments and study with participants how this interaction was happening and which behavior was beneficial for motivating people to interact with the robot. And the last day, which was just yesterday, is that then, like in university, we set up groups, people like 6 to 8 people, one lead person, and then they elaborated in more detail how a specific question or problem could be tackled with all the expertises of the people with very diverse backgrounds. And at the end, and you can actually watch the videos and also get the outcomes. If you click on this QR code, you can, already today, you can see the presentations and the outcomes of the meetings, as well as the tandem presentations. So all these like inputs we provided to the meeting are also available to everybody. So basically you can benefit from that, you can reflect on that, and you can also provide feedback on the learning space we created with the movement activity. So why we do that? We believe that understanding the body requires not only to investigate the movement, it requires to interact with people who are really professional in the way of developing concepts of learning and being professional in their fields. And like just the presentation we had from Alin this morning, when he showed how the movement explores its natural behavior by the segmented structure, there are theories also in the application. How this knowledge is already used without knowing the knowledge, without referring to the papers and the research. So they have developed also a schema how to facilitate motor control based on principal elements of movement. And now the challenge, of course, do they match, or is it completely different? And hopefully we can make it match at some point. Just as a side note, we have also created an association, which is based in Germany, but it's open for everybody. This was created during the Corona time, where we had little opportunities to be active at university because of the situation. And this association is open for everybody. We have monthly meetings, and with this we also encourage people who do not know other people to get connected, and they can come with a question, they can just listen, or also contribute with a presentation, for instance. So what is the vision of all of this? The research we do, I believe, is very beneficial to society. But at the moment, I think the impact of research in society is not as big as we hoped for. And I think this was also something like in Alin's talk, like how we bring the knowledge we have on the street, and not just in publications. We have the situation that most people don't read our papers because they even don't know the words we're using. So, and how to make this possible, we have to not just do the research, but we also need to reflect on our communication and our way of working and collaborating together. But the hope is that people in the everyday situation can really improve life. And I just question to you, imagine you go back 20 years and you consider that there is a tremendous progress in the research and technology we have 20 years later. But consider the living conditions of people. Do you think that we have achieved to bring the advancements of research and technology to the people?
No.
Yes, and then the question is why? Are we not smart enough? I would like to keep it open here, but I'm very happy about your feedback from the discussion. But my opinion is that we have to change the way how we work, and in a beneficial way to both sides. I believe we can learn a lot from society with all the diversity of experiences and situations. And on the other hand, if we change our communication, also society can even benefit from our expertise. And at the moment, I think we are not doing very well with this. So, looking at assistance, the goal is, of course, to make assistive devices to get closer to the way how humans move and how humans behave. And human behavior is very complex. Like yesterday, we had a lot of topics about emotional states and interaction behaviors. When do you come to aggression? When do you come to cooperation? When do you come to altruism? These are very known facts from psychology, but how do they reflect in motor control? How are these mechanisms or interactions implemented in the human body? 2 minutes, that's fine. Yes? And then again, the question is, can we not take the human body as a teacher for understanding how cooperation, successful cooperation, can be organized in order to, in the case of an accident or in the case of a challenge where people need to learn to cooperate anew, how this could be organized. And I will just give you again the most simple example I can think of is again human locomotion. And you all know in locomotion we have the challenge that we have stand leg, swing leg, and somehow we have to get the right position for touchdown. But the question is, what is the swing leg doing? Is it just the leg which is not used for a moment, and then when it's placed on the ground we can use it for body support and propulsion again and balancing, or is it something useful even in the time where we just swing it forward? Yes, and with the data, it's very simple analysis. We just analyze the acceleration of the head arm trunk, so the upper body, the acceleration of the swing leg and the stance leg, and calculated the corresponding contributions to the ground traction force. So the ground traction force is here in blue, and here are the contributions of the stance, swing leg, and the upper body. And what you see, just focus on the green line, the swing leg is contributing about 25% to the generation of vertical force. So you know that you need to create propulsion against gravity, or not propulsion, but anti-gravity function. And the swing leg is significantly contributing to that by swinging forward in a dynamic way with inertia. And if you look to the horizontal forces, the swing leg is somehow opposing the other segments, so it's creating a counter force. And why is this useful? Well, with this we reduce the net horizontal force, and this is of course a risk when we move, that we could slip away, and also reduces with this the change in the fluctuation in the kinetic energy in the forward speed. So with this we smoothen the overall movement, and we contribute actively to the vertical generation of force. This is open for discussion, and this is just an example how the body itself is organized in a way that it's assisting itself. And if you think about assisted devices, the body can provide a teacher or a template for control, and it's still open how it's implemented, and I'm very open also for discussion whether you follow this idea or not. Thank you so much.
Take only 2 minutes for questions.
Yeah.
So you say that we should basically do stuff like introspection to understand how stuff works. Yet we saw in a room that well, except for Andy, nobody got it right?
Exactly.
And now, you could tell me that Andy is the most trained ballerina here. I'm inclined not to believe you. Sorry, Andy. But it kind of shows the problem that we're not very good at this. And if you look at any kind of conscious perception, like there's countless examples from vision, but also from hearing, we know that this is very prone to illusion. So are you not afraid that you're actually starting to focus on the wrong things by doing that?
I think my observation working with experts in dancing, we just started like 5 years ago. For me this is new too, but it's that people, even being the best teachers in dance, don't know how they do it, but they have learned something with their body, which is interesting for us. And we need to help them also to make this accessible. Like for them, it's very important that they have a partner in science which can show that the method they apply works for a certain reason and not just works.
Yeah, but the language they use is often confusing.
Fully
the
agree.
yoga teacher will
Fully
say,
agree.
like,
Yeah.
lift your spine,
Yeah.
whereas there's no muscles that can do that.
Exactly. Exactly. So they're working with metaphors, and the metaphors they use, they are physically nonsense,
Yeah.
but they work. And this is a challenge. Yeah? The challenge is to understand how the language about the body and the learning of motor control in the body is linked.
So you're not so much saying that we should learn from the language that people use, but more that we should go out, listen to that, see what they're able to do, and then apply physically sensible language to that.
And in the best case, to understand and explain the underlying mechanism, because they would love to know why they are successful.
Yeah, no, I fully agree.
Yeah.
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 Thanks.